you have two options for parking permit for the university. Biannual parking permit on August 15th at $180, or by semester permits on August and January at $130. Which one you go for? Okay, you can do all the math in your mind, but also you are getting the idea of when we are talking about internal rate of return analysis, how it works, especially regarding the real estate transaction, real estate offer that we had in the previous slide. So again, here it gives you a guide. It says that what is the IRR for annual permit, because it wants you to do it through the annual cash flow. Do exactly the same strategy we applied in the previous example. And it's again quite be insightful. So stop the video and devote an ample amount of time for this challenge before I show you the answer shortly. Here is the answer, that the cash flow at the time 0 now and after 6 months. For alternative 1, you are paying $180 and you get a permit. In the alternative 2, you pay $130 now and $130 after 6 months. And also you get permit now. So it is asking you to calculate the IRR. So the same as the previous problem we did together, just compare them. In both alternatives, you get the permit. So remove permit from your comparison. And in alternative 1, you are paying now $180, and in alternative 2, you are paying $130. So when it want, and since in alternative 1 you are paying more money now, so we want to see what is the return on that extra money that I'm paying now. So that's the reason it is asking you for IRR. And okay, so when you want to see what is the rate of return on the money, more money you are paying now, you have this 180, 130. So in fact, now you are investing $50. Okay, when you are investing $50, what does it save you? It saves you $130 in 6 months. So it would be the real cash flow you have here. You are paying $50 now to save yourself $130 in future. What is the rate of return for that? 1 period, no payment. On $50, you receive $130, and the result is amazing. 160% just for 6 months. Absolutely go for that. That's the magic of calculation. It gives you a reliable ground to dance on, to do maneuver with your analysis. And here you can see, of course, at very first, when you look at these options, this annual permit payment was attractive. But I'm pretty sure many of us didn't think it is going to be this much attractive. And that's the magic of calculation. Okay, here we have some more explanation on this part. So here it goes and calculate it. So here in this problem, as you can see, here it wants to calculate the monthly interest. That's the way it does it. It's not something special. And it is just, instead of, we calculated, it is 160% per 6 months. And here it is trying to calculate what is the monthly interest. And here it is calculating the monthly interest as 2106. Not a big deal. And I'm going to also show you to notice that it is nothing. You already know that. And the 5 is because between August and January, we have 5 months. Also, let me show you that calculation, that if it is monthly, how it works. So when it is monthly, here instead of 1, you would have 5, and here you see that 21% over there. And again, my friend, you see, don't overcomplicate anything. Just it was a change of number. Get the core of the message, the financial message it wants to convey. Another example on this topic for the liability insurance, 10,000 quarterly in comparison to $35,000 per year. So just do it. And also in this question, when you are getting the internal rate of return, since you are considering on a quarter basis, you should calculate the nominal annual interest rate and the real one or effective one. Nominal is no problem, just you multiply it by 4, but for the real one, you need to go with that formulation that we have talked about, because it is interest over interest. Here I'm showing you the answer. Of course, after you have already done it. And here we have this 9.7%. That is the interest rate for a quarter. And here you get the effective yearly payment, that is considerable return of 44%. So the next time when you go and you are offered by different options, that, for example, they said that we can give you the interest rate of the discounted interest rate or the discounted price, for example, for a car that you are buying, please go and do an accurate calculation with these new things that we just discussed. And many times the result will surprise you, just the way I'm sure you get the effect of this discount in the decision making. It's a question that any of us at least have asked ourselves one time. Should I lease the car or should I buy it? And the finance is another part, okay? But here it is just comparing buying and leasing. For the buying, $40,000 and the salvage value $6,000 after 2 years, or leasing for $2,500. Calculate the IRR for the money you are spending and see which one is better. This question doesn't bring up new challenge or anything, so just consider it as a fun exercise. And if you are not sure about some elements, for example, is it at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, just define it for yourself and just play with the numbers, because as I said, it is just showing you the diversity of challenges and the real world cases that can be categorized or fall in this category of problems. So just play with this example, no matter what is the exact correct answer, because you can define many of the elements and attributes. This slide is a fancy documentation of what you already did. So don't let this intimidate you. It is something that you already did and you are very good with them. What you already did, it is also called incremental analysis because of that comparison. With two or more alternatives, rate of return analysis must determine incremental rate of return. So it is telling you what we just did was specifying the incremental rate of return. If you don't like the name, just forget about that. Just do what we did. But I want you to know, just in case in future you see it in a book, in a conference, in a workshop, at your work, it is just the same thing. It is not something new. Incremental cash flow, incremental analysis. You are comparing $300,000, 270 with the parking permits and all those things that we did. So you calculate that internal rate of return that we discussed, that here it is called incremental. And if it is greater than the interest rate that you have in your mind, MARR, is minimum attractive rate of return. You want it to be more. So if it is greater, yes, go with the higher cost alternative, because as I told you, when you are paying more, you are want to check what is the rate of return on this extra money you are paying at the beginning of the investment. And if it is smaller than minimum attractive rate of return, for example 7%, 8%, 9%, go with the one that is cheaper in terms of payment. For example, when I told you 160%, go and rush to do that parking lot for 1 year, because absolutely it's higher than the minimum attractive rate of return that it is in my mind, that is, for example, 5%. So this page is just a fancy presentation of what we just discussed together with many examples. Here we have a beautiful example on this topic. Okay, here we have two machines. Machine Y, you are paying 700, and machine X, you are paying 200. So now machine Y is the one that cost us more money at the initial investment. So we are gonna calculate the internal rate of return on this 500 extra that we are paying to see if it is worth it or not. Now you see the cash flow is presented to you here. Make sure you create the same thing on your system, on an Excel sheet, and do exactly all the analysis. But since it is just repetition of the previous things that we have discussed, I'm not going through the detail, but everything makes sense. You see just the cash flow here, and here we see the incremental cash flow here. And it says that now I'm paying $500 to get this cash flow or income or anything for the remaining time of 12 years. So what is the annual return I'm receiving on this 500 investment that I'm doing? 1.32. For me, it is smaller than minimum attractive rate of return for me. So I will go with this one. Consider it, do it, check it, and analyze it.